Adetitu Aina Kwelemo, Faculty of Law, Redeemers University. I've started educating you on sexual harassment in the workplace. However, in our last episode, we discussed on the motive for harassment, the relationship in the office, that means LD and non-LD relationship. We talk about the distinction between gender harassment and sexual harassment, as well as sexual harassment and mutual consent or mutual relationship. In this video, we'll be discussing about the legal provisions on sexual harassment, classified under national and international, and then we'll proceed to the remedies that are available for victims or survivor of sexual harassment. So let's commence with the legal provisions on sexual harassment. We have the constitutional provisions that empowers the National Industrial Court of Nigeria to adjudicate on matters related to or incidental to sexual harassment. Section 254, subsection 6 of Section G of 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. Then after that, the rules of the Court of National Industrial Court actually made a provision for sexual harassment pleadings, how you file your pleadings before the court. That's contained under Section 17 of National Industrial Court of Nigeria. We also have the VAP Act, Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act 2015, actually deals with sexual harassment. In fact, it deals with all gender-based violence. And I have a column for definition of sexual intimidation. That's Section 18. Section 26, we also talk about the sexual pornographies and the showing all manner of things that could be regarded as violation of that or VAP Act. Then Section 46 defines sexual harassment of that act, of the VAP Act. That act is a national act that applies to only Federal Capital Territory residents. But however, that particular VAP Act has been adopted by several other states. In total now we have about 13 states that have adopted this similar act and domesticated it within their own state. We'll consider the fact that VAP Act is a national provision and that applies to only Abuja residents. So the states that have adopted that act now, they have Oyo State, Ogun State, Lagos, Osun, Ekiti, Edo, Anambra, Enugu, Ebonyi, Benue, Cross River, Kaduna, Federal Capital of Nigeria, and Plateau. Those are 13 in numbers. That means we include Abuja to it. That's the national itself. Although Lagos State have the Criminal Law of Lagos State 2011 Section 262 that addresses sexual harassment. But if you look at those provisions, it is not enough adopting sexual harassment policy or legal instrument. What is essential is that we need to educate people more on it, on sexual harassment. We need to make them know about gender-based violence generally, and that will make them to be able to know that they have a room to institute an action against anybody that violates their rights to freedom of living, whether at workplace or whatever place they find themselves. In educating them, you can actually get the religious leaders to educate people, organizing seminars, workshops, trainings, and so on and so forth. The speedy administrative of justice could actually make them to see the significance or the effectiveness of the act adopted by the state. Those are the basic things that will be considered under national. On the international platform, we have the different conventions and the protocols and treaties that have been signed by Nigeria. Although some are ratified and some are not domesticated till now. Then we have the CEDAW, Convention on Elimination of Discrimination Against Women. That particular provision, that general recommendation of number 19 of the 1992, talk about sexual harassment. We also have the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, ratification and enforcement by the LFN 2004 of Nigeria. That also addresses issue of sexual harassment or harassment generally at workplace. Then we also have the Maputo Protocol 2005 that talk about the eradication of all form of discrimination against women. That is very, very germane. Then we have the ILO, International Labour Organization Conventions, that deals with eradication of all form of discrimination in the workplace. And those particular international treaties or conventions are the ones that has to do with Nigeria. And that's why I've mentioned them in this video. That's that about national and international legal provisions on sexual harassment. That's that about VAP Act. So we'll be considering the bill, Sexual Harassment in Tertiary Educational Institutional Prohibition Bill 2016. That bill entails 20 sections. The objective of the bill is to protect educators and the students from harassment in their institution. And it deals with children from 18 upward. So it defines sexual harassment and it talks about the procedure that can be adopted in instituting an action for violation when you are sexually harassed. The provisions is classified under two forms: civil action or criminal action. If it is civil action, your complaint can be brought in by either the victim, the parent, the lawyer, or the guardian. If it is criminal, it is by the victim or the lawyer or any relative of the victim. Then when the actions are brought, it is reported to the Nigeria Police or Attorney General of the state or federation. And be that as it may, we'll consider if you are found guilty, of such offense, you'll be given the sanction of up to 5 years imprisonment or not less than 2 years imprisonment with no option of fine. Then we also have a provision for vicarious liability. Liability that is expected of the head of tertiary institution to the school or to the student. It is expected that all tertiary institutions will have sexual harassment internal committee that will be educating on issues of sexual harassment within their tertiary institution. Failure to do that, to have an effective one at that, you'll be subjected to up to 2 years imprisonment or 2 million fine or both. Then if you are not satisfied with such, you can file for judicial review before the High Court. However, there's also a column for malicious persecution. Malicious persecutors, those who allege people of harassment did not occur. If it's a student, you'll be suspended for 1 year or dismissed from the institution. So that's that about the bill. But when we consider the bill, we're going to be talking about the lacunas in this bill. The lacunas in this bill can be seen from the platform of it addresses only sexual harassment that applies to categories of people within the age of 18 and above. What about people between the age of 12 and 17? Those who are in secondary school and primary school. Those people are also subject to sexual harassment. On that note, the Act needs to accommodate people of such category. Reporting to the police. When you have to report issues to the police, we all know that criminal matters suffer a lot because of how effective can that be in a Nigerian system now. When you report your case to police, you know it is procedural. It takes a long process. So I think it's going to make it kind of tedious or difficult or impossible for the victims or survivor to enforce their rights or to be able to institute an action when such right is being violated. That is that. So our next line of discussion will talk about the remedies to sexual harassment. And remedies to sexual harassment varies according to the subject in which you are addressing the harassment. Under tort law, under criminal, under civil, under labor law, or human rights or constitutional law, the remedies differ. Under some categories of law, it could be damages that were put to you or fine or imprisonment, depending on the subject of law. So in our subsequent video, we will be talking about harassment of male in the workplace. I'm sure everybody will be saying it is women, she's always talking about. Now we're going to focus the discussion on only male harassment in the workplace. Thank you so much for your audience. Please like, share our post, subscribe, and then post your comments and questions. I remain Adetutu Aino Pelemo, Faculty of Law, Redeemer University. See you in our next video.